Have you ever wondered what fear looks like when it wears a human face? Imagine a town so paralyzed by paranoia that neighbors turned on each other, children accused their own mothers, and entire families were torn apart, not by swords or fire, but by words. Welcome to Salem. The year is 1692, and something dark, twisted, and terrifying is sweeping through this quiet Massachusetts village. This is the chilling story of the Salem Witch Trials, a tale of hysteria, horror, and the human mind pushed to its breaking point. It all began with two little girls, 9-year-old Betty Paris and 11-year-old Abigail Williams. The daughter and niece of the local minister began behaving strangely. They screamed, they contorted, they threw fits, and they claimed invisible spirits were tormenting them. At first, the townspeople were baffled. Was it illness, madness, something spiritual? But in Puritan New England, people didn't take chances when it came to the devil. And just like that, the first seeds of hysteria were planted. The girls named names. First, they pointed to 3 women: Tituba, a Caribbean slave from Barbados; Sarah Good, a beggar; and Sarah Osborne, a woman who rarely attended church. 3 easy targets, 3 outcasts. Within days, they were arrested, and with their arrests, the witch hunt began. But why Salem? Why then? Why this madness? You see, the village of Salem wasn't just some peaceful haven of pious Puritans. It was already a town on edge. There were deep divisions between Salem Village and Salem Town. Class resentment ran high. Land disputes, religious tensions, and political instability simmered beneath the surface. All it took was a spark, and that spark was fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of women, fear of the devil. And once fear takes hold, logic, compassion, and even truth begin to rot. Soon accusations were flying like arrows. Anyone could be next. If someone disliked you, if you owed a debt, if you had land someone else wanted, they could say you were a witch. And just like that, you'd be dragged to court, examined, imprisoned, sometimes tortured. It didn't matter how old or how young you were. Some of the accused were barely 5 years old. Others, frail elders. Fear doesn't discriminate. And then came the spectral evidence. Imagine this. Someone could claim they saw your spirit in a dream, attacking them, or speaking to the devil. And that would be enough to convict you. There was no proof needed. No fingerprints, no witnesses, just fear and imagination. This wasn't just a legal nightmare. It was psychological warfare. People confessed just to escape torture or death. Some confessed because they believed they were bewitched. Some because they had lost all hope. The lines between reality and madness blurred until no one could tell what was real anymore. Between June and September of 1692, 19 people were hanged. One man, Giles Corey, was pressed to death with heavy stones, refusing to speak, refusing to confess. His last words? More weight. His silence? Louder than any scream. More than 200 people were accused during the hysteria, jailed, shamed, some never recovered. Families were ruined. Trust was shattered, and Salem was forever scarred. But the real horror, it was never the witches. It was the people, ordinary people, neighbors, friends, even family, who let fear drive them to cruelty, who believed the unbelievable and destroyed lives based on dreams and shadows. Eventually, the madness began to fade. Public opinion shifted. Doubts crept in. Judges and ministers began to question the legitimacy of the trials. Even the governor stepped in, halting executions and later declaring a day of fasting and prayer to ask God's forgiveness for the innocent lives taken. But forgiveness doesn't erase pain. Years later, some accusers admitted they were lying. Others claimed they were under a spell themselves. The courts offered restitution. But could silver ever pay for spilled blood? What remains today is a haunting reminder of how fear can become a weapon, how justice can become corrupted, and how society, when gripped by panic, can destroy its own. The Salem Witch Trials didn't just happen in 1692. They happen again and again, every time suspicion outweighs evidence, every time we let paranoia guide our judgment, every time we silence the truth in the name of fear. So ask yourself, could it happen again? Because the truth is, it already has. From McCarthyism to cancel culture, from mass panic to misinformation, the witch hunt never really ended. It just changed shape. The shadows of Salem still walk among us, and the ghosts of those 19 innocent souls still whisper in the wind. If this story haunted you, if it made you think twice about fear, justice, or human nature, then hit that like button. Share it with someone who needs to hear it, and tell us in the comments, do you believe the Salem Witch Trials were a unique moment in history, or a warning of what we're still capable of today? Subscribe for more eerie truths, real-life horrors, and forgotten history that will chill your spine. This was just one chapter, but there are many more to come.